Welcome. This video is going to be a little different than what I normally do on this channel, which is ASMR and ambient music, often combined and usually done in a live looping format, which I usually call live layered. What I'm going to be doing today is talking about how I make that live layered, that live looped sound, and hopefully clear up and answer some of the questions that people have had. A lot of people in my Twitch stream ask about it. They ask about this device that I'm using. What they want to know what looping device I'm using, and it's kind of complex. So I wanted to make a video that kind of clears that up. And if you're watching this, you might be coming from my Twitch channel, because in the future, when people ask, I'll say, go check out this video. I am gonna do it kind of just chill like this. So if you like ASMR, hopefully you'll still dig it, even if you don't care about the technical aspects. So let's get started. I've never done a video like this. I'm a little nervous, so bear with me. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the equipment that I'm using. My microphone is a Shure SM58 microphone. This is going into a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 audio interface. I also have my guitar is plugged into that interface, and I use the same wire to also use my bass guitar. I also have a Launch Key 49 keyboard. You don't need this for the looping, but I do use this for some keyboard playing. And the device here is called the Midi Fighter Twister. And this is really the device that's kind of at the heart of what I do. It's actually upside down the way you're looking at it, but I guess it really doesn't matter. This is by DJ Tech Tools, and if you are doing music production or really anything, I think video editors could maybe use this, or if you want to copy my setup and do live layered ASMR, you could do it. If you need knobs, this is the device for knobs. I've never found anything like this, and I looked pretty hard for a while. I can't overstate how critical this is to what I'm doing. I'm not sponsored by them, but DJ Tech Tools, if you're listening. So just a brief overview. What we have here is 4 rows of 4 knobs. So we have 16 knobs, which you can assign to any parameter you want in whatever DAW, whatever program you're using that uses MIDI inputs. So 16 knobs, and actually, when you press a knob, you can open a secondary function, which means it's basically a second knob. So 16 knobs with a push of a button actually becomes 32 knobs. But that's not all. There are these buttons on the side, and you can use these side buttons to go between 4 different banks. And you'll see most of this looks the same, but the bottom light you'll see is changing. All the LEDs are customizable. You can choose the colors you want. So 16 knobs, each one has 2 functions, which is actually 32 knobs, and then there are 4 different banks. So it's actually like 128 knobs, and that's amazing. It's incredible. So I love this device. It's great. But that being said, this does not do any looping itself. A lot of people see it and they see me fiddling with it and they think, oh, what's that looping device? This doesn't actually do any looping. This only is a Midi controller. It sends MIDI signals to the software that I'm using, which I will get into now. So the software that I'm using is FL Studio. This was formerly called Fruity Loops, but now is just called FL Studio, which, I don't know, sounds nice, more professional, I guess. I'm kind of gonna assume you know a little bit about FL Studio. Nothing that I'm doing here is crazy complex, but if you decide to get FL Studio to do exactly what I'm doing, there might be a little bit of a learning curve, but it's really not that difficult. So I use FL Studio, and I'm also using OBS, which is, I don't want to pull it up because it looks like Inception. One issue that someone using FL Studio could have that I ran into, so this is just kind of a general troubleshooting thing that I want to bring up, is for your audio input-output driver, with the driver that you choose to use, you might be defaulted to the ASIO for all, or if you're using a Scarlett, it might be the Focusrite, or it could be anything else. The FL Studio ASIO sends your audio through the, you know what, I don't actually know the technical terms here. It sends it through your system in a way that OBS can capture here in the desktop audio. Some of these other ones, like the Focusrite one, does not. It will send it straight to the Scarlett, and you can put your headphones in there, but OBS won't catch it. So just a general tip, if you're having trouble getting your FL Studio audio to pick up on OBS, check that you're using the FL Studio ASIO driver. Okay, so first we will discuss our input routing. So you can see that I have 3 mixer tracks lighting up here whenever I talk. The actual sound is coming in on this one that I have labeled vocals. It's going in, and this is my second Scarlett input. So that's how this is coming in. I also have an instrument channel here that is primary. This is picking up input 1 on my Scarlett, so that's where the guitar and bass goes. And then I also have a couple of instruments here that are routed. This 3 means it is routed to the 3rd mixer channel. So if I play my keyboard, it will pick up that sound and put it into the instrument mixer channel. A few things are going on here. One, you'll see both of these down here. This shows where the sound is routed. So my vocals are routed to this one that I have labeled input, and this one that I have labeled vocal side. So first, let's look at the vocals going into the vocal side mixer track. This is going from 4 into 1. The purpose of this is to have a separate mixer track that my live vocals are going into, but not what is being looped. So this is separate. Hello, Socrates. This is a separate mixer track than the sounds that are being looped. And you can kind of hear the effects of that. So I have my reverb turned off here. If I turn it on, you'll hear I sound a lot more reverby. But I turned it off because I didn't think this video needed it. And then I have an EQ also here, which I could manipulate and make things sound much different if I wanted to. But let's just put that back in the middle for now. So the reason this is called vocal side is because when I set it up, I was letting myself know that I'm using this side button to turn it on and off. The way you do that is route your input here, right click your knob, hit link to controller, and then if you press the button on the controller, it will link it. I have it set to latch, which means when I press the button, it turns it on. When I press the button again, it turns it off. So I'm not going to change that because I already have it set up. But you'll see if I push the button here, and if I push the button again, it's back on. The instrument channel has the exact same thing going. So if I push the keys, you can hear it. If I press my side button, then it takes it off. And even though I'm pressing the keys and the keys are going into that track, the audio is not routed to the vocal side. Okay, so now let's get to the actual loops. So my vocals here are also routed into this input, and the instrument channel is routed to the input as well. This input is routed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mixer channels. Each of these mixer channels is a channel that I'm using for looping. And again, I'm using the banks on my MIDI Fighter Twister to control these. So each column is one mixer track. So you see I have these 4. These are my blue mixer tracks. When I switch over, I have the green. These are the next ones. And then the yellow are the next ones. So we really don't need to worry about all 16 of these. I'm just going to show you what's happening with 1 or 2 of them. So let's get into it. So if you see the bottom of the input here, it is not linked to the master. It is sending audio to each of these loop channels that I've created, and turning the knob on my controller, turning this, what's the bottom knob for you, but it's normally the top knob for me. Turning this knob brings the audio into a channel. So as you see, I'll turn the knob on the first one here, and you'll see the first blue input channel will light up. Just like that. And if I speak into it while it's recording, it will actually record the loop. Hello there. Now you won't hear it because the volume on this is turned all the way down. So with a push of the button, I switch to my second knob option and can turn this up. And you'll still hear it's still a little bit, it's still playing a little bit. Hello there. There we go. So this is my output volume. So if you want to think about it, first is input volume and then is output volume. So let's go ahead and turn the output volume up on the rest of these. So that's how the audio is sent to the mixer track. Now for the actual looping itself, I'm going to reveal a little secret. These loops aren't done in the traditional way that a looper works, where there's a start time and a stop time. I'm actually just using a delay. Fruity Delay 3, in fact. And the way that this works is that I'm able to use the feedback to control how loud each iteration of the delay is, as well as the delay time to see how long it is between each repetition. So let me give you a quick example. I'll turn the time down very, very low to just 1, and I'll bring my input up, say hello, bring it down. Hello, 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 hello. So you can hear that the repeat is right after I say it. It's really short intervals, and it fades out pretty quickly. So I have a knob here for my feedback. I have the default is set to right around the middle. But if I turn the feedback up to about 100, let's do about 101. and say something again. Hello, 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 hello. You'll hear that it actually lasts much longer. Hello, hello. And if I turn the feedback up a little bit more, hello, 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 it'll actually start getting louder with each loop. Hello, 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 and hello. I can really demonstrate that if we turn it up to dangerously high red level. Hello. Okay, bring it back down. Hello. So you'll see me messing with this a lot during a stream, and usually what I do is set it to about 100, 104 if I want it to last a really long time. That kind of is the sweet spot where it doesn't totally fade out, but it doesn't get much louder. Over time, the loop will start to sound distorted because of the nature of this feedback system. So that's something that I contend with. If you want a completely clean repetition, this is not the way to do it. And in fact, I use that as an effect on some of my music, especially my release Listen. Everything gets distorted over time, and it's very cool. Okay, well, let's fade that out. Hello. Now, if I want this to sound, that's kind of a normal way that a delay sounds, is you hear something right after. But I want this to last for a long time. So usually I keep this around 4, and now's the time to mention that this delay time is, I have it set to tempo sync, which means that it's actually, it's using the timing of my tempo, and my tempo is as low as it can possibly go, and that helps me to get a really long loop. So here I will just quickly say something again. I've turned my time from 1 to 4. Hello. It's a much longer delay. Hello. And then it comes back. So this is the speed that I use for my shortest loops. Let me clear that out. Actually, the program kind of glitches a little bit if you go too high, like after 14. So I keep it, I don't know, somewhere around 12 or 11. So my highest one is around here. So if I just... I think that'll be, I don't know, somewhere between 15 to 20 seconds maybe. That's how long the time in between will be. So this is the crux of it. This is really where most of the magic is. You're sending an input to a delay. You have a very low tempo. You bring your time up, make your feedback high enough that you won't lose volume over time. And that's about it. That's the magic. So I turned my time back down here, and I wanted to demonstrate that with one of my knobs here, I'm also manipulating the stereo offset, which changes how the sound comes in the left and right ears. So I'm using a mono microphone. A lot of people that use ASMR are using 3DOs and head recs, or they have 2 microphones. I just have the one, so I'm really simulating a stereo effect, or simulating a binaural effect, I guess. And the way that I do that is by playing with the stereo offset. So if I keep it in the middle, the sound just repeats exactly as it was. If I turn the offset all the way up, you'll hear hello, hello, hello. So you can hear I turned it all the way to the left, and it goes kind of in the left first and then in the right ear. And if you make the offset very close, it does produce just a nice stereo effect without kind of the obviousness of it. Hello there. hello there, hello there. So that can be nice to just give it a little more width. So that's the delay, and that's like 90% is that. I also use the Fruity Convolver for some reverb. So I have one of my, let me bring this into focus. One of my knobs is controlling the input with the Fruity Convolver. So very low is very clean, and very high is very wet. So this is after the delay in my chain, so I can record something in the delay and then process the reverb afterwards. So let me give an example. So this, I can turn it completely dry, which is no reverb, and then crank it all the way up, and it's a very hazy, reverby sound. You can also manipulate the wet and dry signals here. In this case, I keep some of the dry because for ASMR, it's nice to still have part of your dry sound. The next plugin that I hear is the Fruity Panomatic. This is another way that I can kind of pretend to have a binaural or a stereo system, is to play with panning. And what this lets me do is move the sound from the left ear to the right ear. So it's going very slowly. Now you hear it's very much in the left ear. And now it's kind of moved over to the right ear. I can also adjust the speed here and make it much more fast, which is kind of has like a jarring effect, so I don't use it that often. But for musical purposes, sometimes it's fun to crank it. To crank it up like that. So that's that. That's the panning. And this loop's kind of quiet. Hello. So you can hear that effect a little better. And then my last in my chain here is just an EQ. I have my final knob mapped to basically do a low pass if I go one direction and a high pass if I go another direction. So this is a low pass. So that's fun. And then we can bring it up to a high pass. And you're really just getting those really high frequency sounds. So, oops, too far. So that's it. That's how I do what I do. If you have any questions setting this up, like I said, I kind of assume you have some knowledge of FL Studio, but if you're trying to set something like this up, leave me a comment or send me a message somehow on Twitter or something, and I will be happy to help answer your questions. I'll just say all of these other ones are just exactly the same plugins that I have on this first setup here. So what you can do is you can somehow, I forgot how to do this. I totally just forgot this. Oh, you can go to File here and save mixer track as, and then just load that mixer track. And all you have to do is make sure that each one of these is routed to your master channel, and then make sure that wherever your audio is coming from, that it is routed to each one of these inputs. I hope this is helpful. I hope this wasn't too rambling. Again, if you have any questions, please leave me a comment or send me a message, and I'll be glad to help you out. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.